Alright, so we're checking out the only game where you can destroy lives to the soft, soothing sounds of the wind in the background. It's Floating Sandbox. Two things about Floating Sandbox. First, they just had an update where you can generate tsunamis and cause ridiculous stuff to happen. And then this will be the game where I create the 2,000 floor building that everyone's been asking for. Ever since my 1,000 story building, I tried to find a way to make one without wanting to put a cheese grater against my wrists, and I think that I figured out how. First things first though, I need to find out how bad the tsunamis are. Over to the options menus that you may not be able to see because of the way my recording software renders things. Wind and waves, all of them. Wave height, a lot. Wave width, not very wide. Speed, all the way up. Okay, first I want to see what this does. Oh my god. There's like one sad wave over here that's doing whatever the hell it wants. Now I think that there's also a tsunami generator button. Trigger tsunami it's called, but I don't know where the hell it would. Never mind, it just forms wherever it wants to form. It's just an extra angry piece of jello that's coming for our ship that is already being torn in half by the sheer force that the tsunami isn't even gonna touch the ship. It's not even gonna matter. I can't wait to put a tsunami against a 2,000 story building. Although I don't know if my computer is going to have fun with a 2,000 story building. You also get the opportunity to watch as the sheer power of the waves dissolves the ship. I think the problem is there's too much weight down here. Let me see if I can reduce a little bit of that weight. Just gotta grab the ship. Okay, and we'll put it like right about over here by the tsunami, just to see if the tsunami will backhand it so hard that it'll lose its lunch money. Right about here should do it. So right about now, I don't know why gravity works in this game the way it does. I think I could probably mess with that too. I am really surprised at how well this ship deals with water beating it. So what happens if you throw a ship at the waves at like 60 miles an hour or something? Hold on. That was a little bit faster than I had previously anticipated. Okay, so let me describe to everyone what this is. This is the Titanic in a bottle, beautifully done. What I didn't know is that the bottle is made out of the kind of degenerative bone disease version of a normal bottle. And so when water hits it, it basically disintegrates immediately. I'll give you an idea here. So if we just press the space bar, that's hot. Hey, we got the Titanic out of the bottle. Look at that, huh? And the bottle is kind of still in one piece. I mean, like all the chunks are still connected. So that was surgery. Basically, Titanic surgery. So it appears like when you make your own tsunamis, when they strike together, they create like a super tsunami. So real quick, I just want to grab our ship in a bottle before we start using our fantastic artistic skills to make the building. And I just want to kind of put it in here and see what happens. All right, so what you got to do is you got to get this aimed up so these two waves touch down exactly in the middle of the bottle, right about, hold on, let me get a little bit closer so we could really get this perfect. Right about here. I'm telling you, man, I never knew that water could dissect something like this, but now knowing it, it just makes the substance that much better. Okay, so there's plenty of pre-made stuff, but we're gonna go ahead and make our own. I don't know where to start. I'm just gonna make this 5,000 pixels high. I don't think we need that many pixels wide, so we'll do 1,000 of those. If we do 5 pixels to a floor, we need at least 10,000 of these. Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. There's an instruction manual for this. I didn't really read all of it, but how hard can it be? Cardboard hull. I feel like that would be a bet. You know what, screw it. We're gonna make our building out of cardboard to start. I can really only pray to God that this turns out all right. All right, needs a little glass. As I do this, I can only realize that we're probably gonna get like 1 frame a second because of how massive this thing is going to be. Maybe I should try it with like 100 floors first, and then we'll work our way up to 2,000. I don't care about distances, so our windows are gonna be disproportionate distances from one another. I like Photoshop because it allows me to do things without taking a million years in order to do it. There you go. 20 floors so far. That's not too bad. 100-story cardboard building. Don't know how well it's gonna work, but let's give it a shot. Oh, sweet Jesus, this is way bigger than I previously thought it would be. Oh, God. Whatever, I said I was gonna do it. Here we go. This is ridiculous. The game won't even work. Okay, let's make this a little bit smaller. This definitely works a lot better. The problem is, though, the compression of making the image so much smaller turned my building into a place with no windows. And it's... it just turns into a noodle. What the hell? Oh, it's like a giant squid underwater now. Okay, that makes sense. Sure, you know what? Why not? Yeah, I think I could see what happened here. Okay, though, we have the idea of how big we need to make this at least. Okay, the 100-story building is still pretty friggin' ridiculous. Okay, we are getting a glorious 6 frames per second here with the 100-story building. I should have known. I think that there's a way for us to reduce some of the mechanics. Simulation quality. How low can I bring this? I think more than anything, I find it somewhat curious that cardboard just doesn't give a crap about anything. Unless you want to watch your structure just crumple in upon itself, all your glass shatters and everyone's hopes and dreams ends up killing them. This needs some antimatter bombs real quick. All right, here we go. Cardboard building versus the antimatter bombs. I think we're gonna have to make our building much, much smaller if we want any chance of being able to see what the hell happens in this game. Okay, it's gonna be a pain in the ass, but we can totally make this work. I think we can start out with 1,000 floors and still kind of be able to see stuff happen. Welcome to hell. No, God! All right, you beautiful bastard. Go get him. I don't even know if it's gonna be able to hit the ground. The waves keep kicking it back into the air because it's just a gelatinous mass. Let me pump the simulation volume back up. Oh yeah. Never thought you'd see a 1,000-story building get broken in half. Go ahead and start triggering some tsunamis here. Oh, it's curving in like a sea. It's such a big object that the tsunami doesn't even make a difference. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't even know if the tsunami is going to be able to touch this. We're gonna have to change the material that our building is made out of. What the hell is that sound? Is that supposed to be the tsunami warning station telling us that the tsunami is coming in over here? We may have to put some bombs on this thing. I really don't even know if the bombs are gonna do that much because the damn thing is so big. There we go. Now the tsunami is just barely kind of tickling the rectum of our floppy building. This is what happens when your building loses its rigidity. Honestly, it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, hold on. Let me just put some bombs on here. There we go. That should help things out a little bit. The building is clearly able to take far too much damage. So if we rip it to pieces with like 20 of these bombs and watch as my frame rate drops down to 3 FPS. I think we'll get what we want. There it is. And there goes the building. All the way across the entirety of the board. Damn, when it hits the ground, it just disintegrates. All right, let's choose a different object to make this building out of. We'll do wood. Clearly that'll work well. All right, my son, you know what to do. Ah, see the wood, the wood just disintegrates the second it touches the waves. The waves are beating the hell out of our wood. I'm gonna tell you, I thought the wood would have better durability than the cardboard. Holy crap, was I wrong. The wood just gets obliterated by the waves. In fact, there's a tool here, the swirl tool. I'm curious what happens if you start to use it on the wooden building. Hell yes. 1,000 stories of sadness just going flying through the air. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the largest portion here, and I'm gonna throw it at the ground. Ready? Here we go. Wow, it ricocheted off, and all of the particles just went through the other piece of the building. I didn't think that was gonna happen. We'll give this one over here a little bomb as well. Like I said, the wood pretty much just shreds. It just gets shredded instantaneously. There's no potency to wood. This isn't the wood I was hoping for. Let's try a different material. Good old iron. Let's do that. All right, iron building. Do me friggin' proud. I know you can. I think it's able to take a lot more punishment. Oh yeah, see, it's keeping its structure at the very least. It's not immediately folding like wood. or bending like a friggin' limp noodle as the cardboard does. Now, I don't know, once it touches down into the stone, not 100% sure what'll happen. I imagine the sheer weight of the building will probably crumple everything that's down here. Yep. That'll do it. Hold on, maybe it'll stand. Come on, stay erect. I know you can. I know you have it in you. Still crumpling pretty fast, but maybe it'll run out of gravity before it turns into nothing. This is legitimately one of the most satisfying things I've ever watched in this game. Floor after floor of human living space getting turned into nothingness. We are getting a little bit of a bend over here, so it's still disintegrating. It's just disintegrating a lot slower. I'm gonna go ahead and swirl this with ultra-violent mode on. Make it happen. It's like cracking a Twix bar in half. Basically what happened there. And the pitch, it's out of there. So it looks like when your object hits the bounding box of the sandbox, it's like hitting a wall made of titanium at 10,000 miles an hour. Well, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is our building is going to be touching down into the water pretty soon. The bad news is I think everyone that lived inside is going to be liquefied as the entirety of what's left of the building gets pulverized against the seafloor. It really makes you realize just how big these waves are if we're considering a 1,000-story building. I am gonna try a 2,000-story building after this. The frame rate is gonna be awful, you guys know. Maybe I'll make it 1/2 as wide. Maybe that'll help slightly. I really doubt it will, but a man can hope and dream. But the second this thing touches the ground, there it goes. There is not going to be very much left. Oh, look at that, everyone that's in here will survive. Looks like the iron's gonna save lives. All right, 2,000-story building made completely out of glass. All right, so this is how ridiculous this thing is, right? Oh, my frame rate. Oh, it's not that bad. It's only, it's only down to about 20 FPS or whatever. Some people play video games with that kind of FPS. It's not as bad as it could be, I guess. Now, it's able to fight straight through the waves for the most part. As a matter of fact, the waves aren't even breaking the glass, which I think is a little bit strange, but more than likely, the moment the glass touches down against the rock, it will begin to shatter, although I feel like it's taking this a lot better than normal glass would. Don't break in half, don't break in half, don't break in half. Come on, I know you can do this. Oh, it's gonna break in half. It is really starting to bend. Yep. There's a couple of fissures right in the middle of the building. I can't even imagine how much weight this would be. The building should not be able to stand under its own weight at 2,000 stories. It should be impossible. And I think that's basically happening. As a matter of fact, it may continue to break in half over and over again. It's like little flamingo legs. You always wonder how it can hold the bird up. Basically, same thing here. Our building, our glass 2,000-story building has flamingo legs, but this is what would really happen. Instead of using a pair of garden shears to take the flamingos out, all that's happening is it's hitting the ground over and over again. Oh, we're starting to get waves throughout the entirety of the building right now. You have no idea. It's disintegrating like 1 story every second or so, and there's still this many left because of how big the building is. See, it's slowly dissipating. All right, destroy rate, bomb blast radius all the way up. Breaking again. Put a couple bajillion bombs on this thing. There we go. See how that does. Yes. Oh, finally did it. All it took was a 2,000-story building and a bunch of bombs. To everyone that wanted the 2,000-story building, I hope you're freaking satisfied. I even had to increase my size a little bit to get all 2,000 stories for you. Hey, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of Floating Sandbox. Till the next time, stay foxy and much love.